So here I am taking clause 11, which is stating that CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he engages in any business or occupation other than the profession of chartered accountant in CA profession. That is, other than the profession of CA without the council permission, unless the council permits so to engage. This is the wordings. So we will simplify the language, which is stating that a practicing chartered accountant, suppose X is undertaking. X has undergone through all the training programs which has been conducted by our council, and he passed the CA final exam. So, and thereafter he also obtained COP. We know that CA, after passing CA, he have many options. He can either practice, he can either take employment. But if he obtains COP, then he shall use the designation as chartered accountant. So, as per clause 11, he shall not engages into any profession. This prof means profession or occupation other than the CA profession. That is, if a practicing chartered accountant is practicing, then the one option to him is to continue as a CA. That is, to use CA profession only, not enter into any other profession or occupation other than chartered accountant. Then this is applicable where he is undertaking such profession or occupation without council permission. But if the council permitted X, you can enter into any other profession or occupation as per your will. As per your will, that is not possible. If X wants to enter into any of other profession, X shall make an application with the council. If council permits, then X can enter. Okay? So X have a doubt. Actually, I wish to become the director of a company. So can X become a director? This is my next question. So they have an answer. X can become director of the company. They have only one condition other than managing director or whole-time director. That is, X can be appointed as the director of the company, but it has to remember that he shall not be appointed as the managing director or whole-time director. Plus one more condition, the company in which he is going to be appointed as the director, in that company he is neither appointed as an what? Auditor. Okay? Or his relative. One minute, friends. So we have discussed that a practicing chartered accountant can be appointed as a director of the company. We have already discussed that he can be appointed as a director, but other than managing director or whole-time director, I have a correction. I have told that he shall not, if he is appointing as a director of a company, he shouldn't accept or he shouldn't hold the auditor position in that company. That is, if he already appointed as an auditor of that company, he cannot be appointed as the director. Plus, if his partner, I have in the previous case, previous example, I think I have referred relative. It is my mistake. Sorry. If he himself or any of the partner is holding the position of an auditor of that company, then Mr. X, practicing chartered accountant, shall not become director of that company. Okay. So normally it is stated that a practicing chartered accountant shall not use any other designation other than CA profession. If they are wish to use such other profession other than CA, they have to obtain the permission of council. If council permits to do so, then they can undertake such activity or undertake in that employment or profession. At the same time, the next question I have asked is whether a practicing chartered accountant can become a director of the company. Answer is yes, subject to the condition that he shall not be appointed as a managing director or whole-time director. Plus, if he himself or any of his partner is already appointed as an auditor of the company, then the same person cannot be appointed as the director. Okay. So next question. So Mr. X is having another doubt. Is it required to obtain council permission, that is permission of our ICAI, in all other cases? No. Generally, permission has been granted by ICAI, and there have some other situations in which the concerned CA have to give an application and have to obtain specific approval. So first of all, we have to know the cases in which a practicing chartered accountant can be appointed. That is, however, a chartered accountant may act as following: his appointment is not on salary come full-time basis. That is, a practicing chartered accountant is entitled to undertake the following works. Which are the works? Receiver, secretary, liquidator, arbitrator, administrator, advisor, trustee, executor. Then he can do representation work with respect of tax and financial matters. Then he can be appointed to any post if such an appointment is done by the central government, court or legal authorities. So now we understand that as per clause 11, a practicing chartered accountant shall not engage into any other occupation or profession other than CA, but at the same time, if he wish to do so, they have to obtain permission from the council. Council has given general permission and special permission. If he is entering into any other profession or occupation for which council has granted their general permission, then it is not required to obtain further recommendations or further permission from council. But if any profession requiring specific permission, then first of all the concerned CA have to file an application and then they have to obtain specific approval from the council. Now we discuss certain posts which can be held by a practicing chartered accountant even without council's permission. That is, liquidator, arbitrator, receiver, administrator, advisor, trustee, executor. Then representation work in respect of tax and financial matters, and any appointment to any post if it is done by the central government or court or any other legal authorities. Now we have to understand the area that is requiring general permission. So now we are going to discuss the areas or the profession for which council has granted general permission. Friends, so here we are discussing the areas or the profession or other occupation for which the council has granted general permission. We are telling that our institute is so rude, not providing that much of facilities, not passing, they are not increasing the pass percentage, etc. But just look, they have granted this much of profession or occupation that can be entered by a practicing chartered accountant even without obtaining the council permission, because they have already granted the permission. Okay, so which are the area? Employment under CA or CF, that is X. We are again taking the example of X. X passed the CA final exam, obtained COP, but he is so confused about practicing. So he can get employment or he can undertake employment under a CA or a CA firm. This is the first permission. Then private tutorship. Suppose Mr. X, who passed the CA final exam, obtained COP, but thereafter he started to practice. After coming to home, he felt that I have to do some contribution to the CA final students, intermediate students, CPT students. Yeah, I will do coaching. So X is confused whether should I obtain council permission for this. So X friend is telling that no, you don't need to obtain council permission. You are providing the CA coaching, that is private tutorship, after coming to home. So no need of obtaining council permission, they have already granted it. So if the chartered accountant in practice providing private tutorship, that is private tutorship in home, etc. So then it is not required to obtain, that is it has been generally permitted by the council. Then authorship. X can be the author of books and as well as articles. It has been already permitted, no need of special permission. Then holding of life insurance agency license, it is allowed, general permission has been granted. Then attending classes, appearing for any exam. He wish to attend IAS classes or IPS classes, he can attend the classes and he can appear for exam. It has been already granted by whom? Our council. So X, after passing CA, he wish to attend what? IPS exam, okay, or IAS exam. Then holding public elective offices. X didn't perform that much of well in IPS exam, so he decided for holding some public elective offices. So he's again confused whether should I obtain the permission of council. Friend again called the friend. Friend answered, actually I am also having a friend. When I am having some confusions or tensions, I will just directly call him. He will give me the solutions for it, and I am following that solution and doing or that is implemented by me. So X is just like me. He is having the doubt. He called his friend give the proper solution that it has been already permitted by our council. Okay, then holding of honorary officer. He can be appointed as a honorary officer in the charitable and educational organization. There is no need of obtaining, that is, it has been already permitted by the council. Specific approval is not required. Then notary public, justice of peace, special executive magistrate. He can hold these posts. It can be this has been already approved by our council, for which general permission has been granted. Then part-time tutorship under the coaching organization of our institute. Our institute has different coaching organizations: southern region, western region, northern region, and eastern region, etc. So X is already providing private tutorship in home. He is also wish to provide part-time tutorship with respect of CA course in other coaching organizations under the institute. So it has been already permitted by our council. General permission has been granted. He can do so. Okay. Then valuation of paper. He can value the paper. He can be a paper setter. He can be a paper setter. It is not required to obtain council permission again, because it has been generally permitted by our council. Editorship of professional journal. Only professional journal. That is, he can be editor of professional journal. General permission is allowed only if he is holding the post of editor with respect of professional journal. Any other journal, they are not granted general permission. Okay. Then surveyor, law assessor, they can hold that post also. General permission has been granted. Then recovery consultant, insurance brokerage. CA can be appointed. CA in practice can be also engage in the business or engage in the profession of recovery consultant or insurance brokerage, which has been generally granted. That is for which general permission has been provided by our council. So I hope that you understand up to this. That is what is meant by clause 11. What are the situations in which CA will be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct as per clause 11? What are the post or what are the appointment that can be accepted by a practicing chartered accountant? What are the other professions or other occupation for which our council has granted general permission? Now we have to understand what specific permission or profession or occupation requiring specific permission. We will study it after. We have gone through what clause 11 already permitted activity in which a CA can be appointed, and the profession or occupation for which ICA has granted general permission. Now we are going through the cases, that is the profession or occupation for which specific permission of ICAI is required. First of all, suppose a practicing chartered accountant is wishing to undertake any employment in any business. That is, Mr. X, who is a CA having COP, wish to do any employment in a business. He is wishing to do textile business. He can obtain specific permission from the ICAI after filing an application, but there is having a condition that neither himself nor his relative have any substantial interest in that business. Substantial interest means not less than 20% of income is receiving from such business, or not less than 20% of the amount has been invested in that business. So neither himself nor his relative have any substantial interest in that business. So CA in practice who is wishing to do any employment in a business is required to file an application with the council for the purpose of obtaining their specific permission, subject to a condition that neither himself nor his relative have any substantial interest in the business. Then employment in any non-business concern, that is CA in practice. Mr. X want to be appointed as a trainee or some other employment in a non-business concern, just like hospital or a charitable institute, etc. So he is wishing to undertake an employment in hospital or charitable organization which is not a business concern. So in that case also he is required to obtain what? Specific permission from our council. Then lectureship other than those relating to ICAI, that is, he is providing lectureship with respect of any other courses. That is, if he is providing lectureship with respect of any other courses, he is required to have obtained specific permission from ICAI. Then tutorship in any educational institute other than ICAI organization. That is, we know that ICAI have its southern region, west, east, north. So they have their own chapters. These chapters conducting what? Coaching. To undertake any lectureship in these organizations which is under the control of ICAI, it has been generally permitted. But if such chartered accountant in practice required to take lectureship in any private institute that is providing the same course, that is a lectureship or classes related to CA, they have to obtain what? Specific permission from our ICAI. It is stated that CA in practice who wish to undertake any lectureship in a private organization for providing classes related to CA, it is required to obtain what? ICAI permission. But if they are providing the classes with respect to CA in the coaching center under the control of ICAI, it is not required to obtain what? Specific permission from ICAI. Then to become managing director, whole-time director of a company, we already told that to become a director of a company, he is not required to obtain the permission. It has been generally allowed, subject to a condition that neither himself nor his partner has been appointed as an auditor of the company. That is, to become director, it is generally permitted. To become managing director or whole-time director, this is requiring what? Specific approval from our council. Then editorship other than professional journal. We have already studied that to become editor of a professional journal, it is generally permitted. But if the ex, that is chartered accountant in practice, wishing to get the editorship of other than professional journal, he is required to obtain what? Specific permission from our ICAI. Before amendment, it was held that to have any interest in agriculture, they require specific permission, but it has been amended now. To have any interest in agriculture, it is not required to obtain the specific permission of what? ICAI. It has been generally permitted. So I hope you have understand, or you can get a clear idea about clause 11, which is stating that CA in practice shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct if he enter into any business or not business, profession or occupation other than CA, unless ICAI permits so to engage. So he can be appointed as the trustee, liquidator, secretary, arbitrator, administrator, advisor, any appointment which has been done by the central government, court or any other legal authorities. Then he can be do representation work with the in respect of tax matter or financial matters. He can be appointed as executor. For this there is not required any permission. And for some category of works, that is profession or employment, ICAI has provided their general permission with respect of what? Editorship in professional journal, appearing for any exam, or valuer of exam paper setter, coaching, private tutorship, part-time tutorship under our ICAI or coaching organizations, honorary officer of charitable and educational office, justice in peace, special executive magistrate, law assessor, surveyor. Then what? Authorship of books or articles, holding public elective post. So and to be appointed as the director of the company unless other than managing director, whole-time director. Now we discussed the areas, that is the profession or occupation requiring specific permission. To be appointed as the managing director, whole-time director, to have any interest in the business where he himself nor his relative have any substantial interest, to have any interest or undertake employment in any non-business concern, or to be for editorship of other than professional journal, or taking classes or undertaking lectureship for any other courses, or part-time or private tutorship in any other organization, that is tutorship in any other organization other than of what, ICAI. So these are the cases in which our practicing chartered accountant is required to obtain specific permission. So this is what clause 11. If any practicing chartered accountant is violating or is functioning in contravention of clause 11, he shall be deemed to be guilty of professional misconduct. I hope clause 11 you have understood it properly. Okay. Then we are going to continue with our last clause, that is the clause 12 of part 1 first schedule. Okay.